Shout out to Chicago, man. Shout out to Chicago. Y'all making it happen out there in Chicago.
I am very aware of my privilege. I grew up very comfortable. My parents are extremely generous. And I think for me, that definitely places me at like a higher starting point than the rest of my peers. And because of that, I try to internalize that as much as possible and use that as like a driving force as to why I need to work that much harder, because I've been given so much.
Wait a minute. We got to stop right here. So you telling me in this country you can make over $93,000 as a 21-year-old?
That's crazy to me, especially as a college student.
You telling me that's possible in this country?
My first thought was maybe with the OnlyFans. Maybe it is possible. Maybe it's feed videos.
So you. Well, I got to make sure I'm looking at this right again. 21 years old making $93,000 in this country. I don't know, man, because you got some people saying, "Oh, you can't make it in this country, man." You know all the antics, right?
Yeah.
You know. Oh, they holding me back. But I have to make sure I was looking at that right. 21 years old making $93,000 a year. Shout out to Chicago. A lot of these videos that's on CNBC, Millennial Money, they come out of Chicago. They originate out of Chicago. It's a lot of people that be coming on here that be getting to the bag. There was an electrician that did one of these videos, and he was making like $230,000 in Chicago. I was getting them crazy bags, man. I may have to make some moves. I may have to get on up out of here and move on up to the Chi.
My name is Chloe Tan. I'm 21 years old, and I made $93,000 last year as an international student in Chicago, Illinois. I am half Singaporean, half Chinese Indonesian, Singaporean by nationality, and I moved to Shanghai when I was around 3 years old, and I stayed there until I was 17, where I moved to Chicago. I'm an international student at the University of Chicago studying economics and data science, and I'm a rising senior.
Aha! University of Chicago. That's one of the well-respected schools when it comes to universities. I think it's like a top, I don't want to say top 10, but I know it's like top 20, I believe.
It's definitely within the top 20.
Okay. They have a good law program, if I'm not mistaken. I remember doing some research a year and a half ago, and I thought about pursuing law. I'm looking at UC of Chicago, University of Chicago. It was on one of the lists for one of the top law schools in the country. But we heard some key there, economics, and I think, what did you say, analytics or something? The point is, this is STEM. We ain't out here studying gender studies. Let's get that clear. She ain't doing that. She gonna be getting to the bag. It says she receives $1,000 allowance every quarter from her parents. When you was in college, Shawn, did you receive that?
I didn't receive $1,000. My mom would probably send me like $100 and be like, make sure you go get some groceries. That's pretty much it. I mean, I got most of my money from scholarships. Like after my tuition was paid, they'd give me the little reimbursements or whatever. But my mom and my uncle, they'd send me a little bit of pocket money so I can grab something to eat on the weekends, because sometimes like the dining halls would be closed. But let me see, $1,000 a quarter. But it's really only 2 quarters, so she's getting $500 like a semester basically. So yeah. I guess I was getting about that too, if we counted up that way.
Man, shit, I don't know nothing about that life. Y'all living good. I'm on the wrong side.
I first started tutoring in around 2016 to 2017. I have a younger brother who's 4 years younger than I am. And one day he and his friends came over and they were looking to prep for a debate competition. I was just nosy.
Hold on, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to rewind that back, man. She got it going on. Let me make sure I'm not tripping. I gotta make sure I got my glasses on, man, because
I first started tutoring in around 2016 to 2017. I have a young
and she getting to the bag. So she bringing in $30,000 from her YouTube channel, and then she bringing in about $55,000 from tutoring. Then she was doing an internship. Then she was getting money. Then she got money from her parents, every quarter. Man, she really doing it, man.
Yeah,
So
you definitely getting the bag.
her work ethic is crazy. Wow. So she can do that, but we got younger folks like, man, I don't want to go work no 9 to 5, man. I can't be out there pushing them baskets. But they want to be at the house playing the video game. And you got people like her who immigrated to this country, 21 years old, making $93,000 a year, making it happen. We got to do better. You can't make this stuff up. Let's continue playing this video.
Younger brother who's 4 years younger than I am, and one day he and his friends came over and they were looking to prep for a debate competition. I was just nosy and I asked them if they'd like some help. And after that, week by week, they would start gradually bringing more and more friends over. And at some point, my mom said, hey, maybe, you can consider starting, to tutor some of them. And that's kind of where it started. They are international students studying in Shanghai, and I prepped them for the International Baccalaureate English Literature, honors level curriculum. There's always been a really strong demand for tutoring at a really high level in Shanghai, I think, and there's always been a really strong honors level curriculum.
So she charged $67 an hour, but I wanted to kind of touch on something real quick. Listening to that, one of the things that I know that I hear a lot of people say is like, oh, you need to be starting a side hustle, right? But this was some of the, we have hidden talents. That's one thing about it. Some of our we have hidden talents. And we may not know what those talents are until they actually become discovered. And she was already tutoring. She started to tutor. Her brother started bringing over more people. And her mother said, hey, you should start tutoring. And she was already good at this English. And then she was able to use that skill to her advantage to generate income. So what I'm kind of getting is, it's like, if you can figure out what you're good at, then you can start your own side hustle. And now look, she made up with $55,000 from that, and she's only 21. So she can keep scaling and then generate more income from doing that. That's crazy.
You know what's crazy? I had a little tutoring business for a couple years. I was just doing it on the side like her, but I wasn't charging those $67 an hour. I tried to do $25 an hour when I first started, and nobody was budging. So I had to do $25 for a session. So sometimes my sessions would be an hour or 2 hours, maybe even 3, depending on how much homework they got. And my dad, I remember him saying one time, he was like, hey, you need to go up on that north side of Chicago. I bet you could charge 25 to 50 an hour there. But, I wanted to stay in my community and help out. But in doing so, I couldn't really charge, no $67 an hour. So, sometimes you got to definitely know your market. Travel around a little bit more if you want to be paid what you want to be paid or what you think you're worth.
Yeah, I agree with that. She's saying, look, listen, I ain't playing no games. I know what I bring to the table. We ain't doing that $14.99 special on this side. I'm charging $67 an hour. So if you can't pay that, then I'm not even gonna say it, but you know what I'm about to say.
There's always been a really strong demand for tutoring at a really high level in Shanghai, I think, and especially catered towards, international students. And now I've actually been more selective, and there's a bit of a waiting list right now for some of my classes. So as of now, I spend around 5 to 6 hours of actual just tutoring per week. It probably takes me an hour to 2 hours per week to prep for this as well. And because of the obvious time zone difference, I schedule all of them to be on my Friday nights.
So you telling me she not hitting these streets? She ain't going out there with everybody else, going down to the bars, bar hopping and all that. She's saying, listen, I'm going to get this bag on a Friday night. I'm going to be getting to this bag. Shout out to her, man. She a hustler. She is what a lot of people look up to when they say the American dream. It's possible. It's possible. Shout out to her, bro. She dope.
My university tuition fees are pretty astronomical. My parents are very generous, and I am super privileged and grateful to have them pay for my college for me. And last quarter, they paid over $20,000 in school fees.
God dang, Shawn, what's going on?
$250,000 for a degree. That's the craziest part, for a piece of paper so you can apply for a job. I just hope that whatever, she lands, she make big money.
And hey bro, and the crazy part, man. What's crazy about this is like a couple of weeks ago, man, I had to build out an education model where I had to calculate these costs. And one of the scenarios was the child was looking to go to a public school, and this school was $20,000. And this child had about 7 years until they would start attending school, the university, when they turn 18. That costs, because tuition tends to increase historically by 6%. So once I built out that model, a $20,000 school, the cost for them ended up being about $117,000. I mean, not 117, 171,000. So this education stuff ain't no joke, man. And just imagine her not having that support. $250,000.
Well, you know what I just realized? If she almost making $100,000, I wonder why her parents not telling her to pay for her own education. I wonder why they are paying for the education, even though she makes almost $100,000 a year.
There you go. That's true. So you know what the question is. We're gonna have to find out what she's doing with her money, and hopefully she's gonna break that down here in a minute.
My parents don't pay for anything consistently monthly, and that's because I asked them to instead hand me a sum of money that I can, embed into my own income and allocate as I see fit. So I pay for my own rent, utilities, discretionary, transportation, et cetera, et cetera. And a big part of that reason is because I feel like my parents have done so much for me. And the minimum I could do is, at least during college, when I feel like there is a bit more, like a safety net, a buffer before you're officially set out into the real world. In college, when I
So I like that. She don't have the entitlement mindset. And let's point this out too. Her parents. So she's following her parents' footsteps. She's getting a valuable degree. That is the best way to wealth, along with financial discipline. Pick a career that's going to pay. Her mother was in private banking. Private banking pays the bag. JP Morgan. I was looking at JP Morgan the other day, man. Down there in Denver. You do have 3 to 4 years of experience, they're gonna pay you about 100,000. Young bucks, they go into private banking, they killing it. It's long hours, but they're making a killing. Her father worked in biotech, so there's a pattern here. It's STEM degrees. But I like the fact that she's not entitled, saying, "Hey, you gotta pay for everything since you're already paying for my college." She's saying, "No, I'm gonna get this bag. And then I'm gonna bust this bag down. I'm gonna pay for my own expenses." Shawn, you like the budget, so let's take a look at this budget. Let's see what she got going on.
Yeah, I see that in discretionary, $972, and that's a little cross. And it says at the bottom that that's pet, entertainment, and shopping. So she paying almost $1,000 a month on entertainment and having fun with her pet. What is it, a dog? I don't know, but it seemed kind of expensive, don't you think? Do you think $1,000 a month just to entertain yourself is a lot for a college student, Trey?
Damn, man, that's a lot. You know what my entertainment cost is, bro? A month?
What is it?
It's zero. Like, real talk. Because look, man, a lot of stuff that I like to do is free. I'm outside. The museums are free, like the trails. Where you can do hiking and walk around the park. I do that for free. I mean, like, even going to the driving range, man, I don't even pay for that. My folks, they're like, hey, your nephew, let's go. So mine is zero. But $1,000, man. Damn, what did she do? Man, but them dogs is expensive though. I think she gotta have a dog, bro.
Yeah, that's a good point for like grooming and stuff.
Okay, so she got $972 housing, $962 in housing. Now I wonder if that's like a on-campus house, or is that on-campus housing, or is that like an apartment?
Well, at the bottom it says rent and utility split with a roommate. And if you're paying rent, I'm gonna assume she's probably staying in an apartment that's off campus. $962, that's really not that bad. Like, considering that's like where she goes to school is considered the High Park area. Like, me and Zora, paying about that split. So that's fair. It's definitely fair. For them to be paying close to $2,000 if she has one roommate, I'm gonna assume that the person that she's renting the place from probably, yeah, she's definitely not in a condo. She's definitely probably like in an apartment building and might be paid off. Because if the person is trying to get a profit, I'm gonna assume that it's probably paid off for it to be that low.
And so let me make sure I'm understanding it. You said Highland Park, right?
Hyde Park, HYDE, Hyde.
Okay, Hyde
Park.
Park. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stayed near one of those neighborhoods, Hyde Park. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they tend to be nice neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's expensive over here, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trust me, I know. Hyde Park in Texas is expensive too. I know, but I promise you, it's well worth it. So it looks like she says she spends $463 on food. She got $67 on transportation, health insurance 60, subscriptions, and the phone. Man, subscriptions and phone is relatively cheap.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at some of these videos, man, I be seeing some high subscriptions and then some high phone bills, man. That's wild. $463 on food though. She got to eat out a lot.
Yeah, she definitely eating out a lot. I mean, during the time that this was recorded, I'm gonna assume that groceries wasn't that expensive. So, you know what's funny? Discretionary is $972. That's entertainment, right? So,
It's food.
I'm surprised that that's not part of the food. You get what I'm saying?
That's what I was just saying. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they're like food. Yeah.
So she definitely eating out a lot. Like, I'm gonna assume groceries, if she going to like Aldi's, she probably spent $200 a month during that time, and then also going out to eat close to what, $263, getting Subways and Panda Express or whatever. Like, she definitely spending a lot of money. But going back to that phone bill, $25, I wonder if she on a family plan. Because if she on a family plan, because I know she said she had a brother and she got a mom and her dad and things like that. So if she on that family plan, that makes sense to why her phone bill is so low. And even the subscriptions, maybe like her dad and her mom pay for like Netflix and Hulu, and maybe she paid for Disney Plus or something.
That's true. And like I said, other than that, bro, it look good. But the thing is, now the question that I have is like, okay, so we see this budget is almost $2,600 a month, right? And so she made $93,000. So she still got a lot of money left. So I'm hoping she talks about investing or something. But let's see what she got to say.
I feel like there is a bit more, like a safety net, a buffer before you're officially set out into the real world. This is like the best time for me to learn how to manage my like household income and like spending. All of my monthly income goes directly into savings, and I would take, $1,000 to $2,000, and that would usually last me however much it does.
Man, I mean, she do save, and I mean, she do have a lot of capital left over after, once the year end. I mean, $2,600 you making over 93,000. She should have somewhere around, let's see, six. I mean, yeah, she should have about 60 some $1,000 left. I think if I'm doing my math right. Man, $785 a month on clothing. Woo. Yeah, she should have about 60 some $1,000 left at year end. What you think about that, Shawn? $785 a month on shopping.
Yeah, she's spending over $8,000 a year buying clothes.
I mean, hey.
Like that's too much. That's way too much. But again, she bringing in $100,000, so that's only 8% of what she made. If you think of it that way,
yeah.
So it's not really a lot. It's not that bad.
And she's saving, so she's saving some money. I just hope she kind of talk about them investment vehicles. Hopefully she don't let me down. She doing good so far though.
I think in the US, people make a lot of assumptions about you based on how much money they think you have. Some people on campus think I like dress a little bit too flashy, and some people don't care about it at all. And I probably fall into that latter category. My mom is super generous in, passing down all of her like luxury designer things that she no longer uses. Like everything nice I own is essentially a gift or passed down by her. These are, gifts and things that have been given to me by my parents, and I am very grateful for them. And I wear them because it reminds me of them and not because I'm trying to like flex it. I don't have to spend too much money on new things, but I think a good example of something I did spend money on would be a pair of shoes. I bought a pair of very expensive heels 4 months ago because I don't own a single pair of heels, and I thought it might be time to invest in a nice pair. So I bought a pair. That pair of heels cost me just over $1,000, and they're definitely the most expensive thing I've bought for myself.
She said, "Man, look, I don't know what Payless is. I don't know if you still remember Payless, Shawn. Payless."
Yeah, I remember I used to scuff up my grandma's floors with it.
Yeah. No, like the store.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
The shoes would leave black marks all over my grandma's floor. I remember.
Yeah, the scuff a floor. Yeah. She said, "Look," she's like, "Man, I ain't shopping at Payless. I gotta look good." I mean, like I said, I rock with it, making almost over $100,000 a year. And I mean, hey, people do look at your shoes. Like I be in corporate all the time. Shout out to First Gen Corporate. When he recommended me to get these shoes, I wore them and they say, "Wow, I know I didn't say nothing to you the other day, but I actually like those shoes." So they be looking. You got to look the part, man. It's all about your image. Shout out to the Godfather, 𝗕𝗂𝗃𝗃. He talked about that a lot, your image. So I rock with it.
It took me 2 months to budget for, but hey. You know how college students say that there's like a holy trinity, like triangle, right? You have like sleep, and you have social life, and you have academics. Well, for me, I've chosen everything but sleep. So I have ADHD, and the main way that affects my productivity is I feel like instead of having energy like rises and dips throughout the day, I have them throughout the week, and sometimes throughout like 2 to 3 weeks. Like sometimes I would feel extremely motivated for the span of like 2 days, and I'd be able to get like a week's worth of work done in like those 2 specific days. And then for the rest of the week, I would just be in a slump and just not do anything. And so for me right now, the way I balance my life is I will dedicate.
And do you get like that sometimes, Shawn? I think that's normal for me too.
Yeah, I'm definitely the same way. Well, I probably wouldn't say I'm that way now as a professional because I got to be on it as a teacher. I might have my slump days, but I can't be out like, for a whole week. But when I was a college student, I would definitely be in chill mode for a while. Like I wouldn't study and read and things like that. I'd be like, I want to, go play pool or shoot basketball or something like that. But yeah, I'm definitely like that. Well, yeah.
Full days to kind of like to emulate like tech sprints. So I'll have a full 2 to 3 days of the week where I only focus on like academic work. And then I have a full 1 to 2 days of the week where I just fully focus on my hobbies, or I just fully like go like watch anime or read manga or like catch up on TV shows or paint. And that's kind of how I divide my time. It's a little bit unconventional, and it only really works out because I have more control over my time right now because I'm a college student. I applied to 𝘂𝗃𝗃 early decision round 1. And so I think among all the schools in the US, 𝘂𝗃𝗃 was definitely my top pick. But the other top contender was Oxford University. My parents were unequivocally like supportive of anything I chose, which is amazing. And I picked here because I think I wanted to work in the US more after college. So first of all, if you're in a STEM field, it is significantly easier for you to get a work visa. I'm really lucky in that aligns with my interests, and I'm able to pursue that. But that may not be the case for everybody. And the second of all is that you can really apply to large companies that can sponsor your visa. I would want to, in a perfect world, to go into the tech field with a larger tech company that would be able to sponsor my visa. Hypothetically, if you wanted to work for like a startup after you graduate as an international student, that's virtually impossible. As a result, I feel like a lot of international students are kind of funneled towards, larger companies with very established systems. And I don't know, I feel like that personally has affected my career choices. And I think it's probably the same for a lot of other international students. I think for me, as of now, it's pretty easy to like live within my means and live within my income. But that's with the mindset that I'm like a privileged college student living like a comfortable life. And that's also me, saying this with like the knowledge that if anything were to occur, my parents would be there as like a support system for me. My dream job straight out of college.
That's huge. That's huge, man. Because in her case, she actually made good income being in school. Majority of people that's in college, they're broke, unfortunately, right? Working part-time job, making about $10 to $15 an hour. So they don't really have the financial backing per se. Majority of people don't. So, but her having that income and then having her parents who's well off, I think that's pretty huge.
Yeah, they definitely put her in a good position. Hey, did you see a gaming though? What controller was that? Did she have a PlayStation?
It's
I
a
think she had
PlayStation.
Yeah, and I saw she had the Switch too. So that might be what she was spending her money on, games and the entertainment. That might be what it is.
That might be. That might be.
Which would be a product manager at a tech company. Ideally, something customer facing. So, like, designing a product for like customers to use. I think that'd be just very fun. My personal savings goal is to save $300,000 by the time I'm 27. There's no particular reason why I chose.
Wait a minute. $300,000 by 27. I like that, but $70,000 in the savings account though. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I hope she's gonna be putting that to use, within the near future. And if so, she probably needs to be moving into probably like a money market account to get a higher yield.
I mean, she could definitely get into real estate or stocks. I agree with you on that one.
70,000. Woo, man! Like I said, I hope she planning to use that really soon. I hope she don't just. And she said 300,000 saved up. Now I hope that's her net worth. She means she's talking about net worth, because we just don't want to be piling up 300,000 in cash. Because just saving ain't gonna be enough in order for you to be able to live comfortably in retirement. Because you need to be beating the rate of inflation. So I hope she definitely plan on putting that to use somehow.
So number 27, I just felt like I wanted it to be like after 25, but then not 30 just yet. I just kind of like plucked 27 out of thin air. There's not a specific purpose that I'm saving this money for, but ideally it would go to something like a mix of like business school or grad school and down payment for a house.
Yeah, so she just said she ain't had no ambition to invest, basically. She just want the crib and go to school more.
Yeah, man. Like I say, yeah, that's true. I mean, I think she on the right track. Like, honestly, bro, she on the right track. Like, once she get that financial literacy and understand, and I think oftentimes too, it's just like it's the education, right? A lot of people have these misconceptions about the stock market. And that's where you need to be talking to, a licensed professional, or you need to be doing some research and kind of understanding what type of investor are you, right? Because seeming like based off this video, I don't want to like to assume, but I'm going to assume that she's probably like a conservative investor based on what I heard, right? But I could be wrong. But I think she's on the right track. Looking to go to grad school, she got the cash, she can deploy the capital to grad school to try to get out of that debt free. Her parents probably help her, and then she still making $93,000 a year. So I mean, she's doing pretty damn well for herself. I mean, at 21 years old, so she can probably, I mean, if she get into the bag and investing right, and she got all this stuff going on, she could be a billionaire probably by the late 30s, or maybe even early. You never know. I mean, especially with a business, you start scaling it up and bringing more income. But I mean, I liked it. This was a good one. I mean, she's doing everything pretty well. Just the discretionary spend is a little high, but other than that, I think she's doing all right.
Yeah, she is doing pretty good for herself. She's doing better than me right now. She got way more cash.
Man, she balling. She said, "Man, look, say I'm getting to the bag. I ain't going down there partying with y'all. All y'all going down there to that bar on Friday night? I'm running this checkup. I'm getting to the bag. I ain't going to no Payless. I ain't about to be walking around here no $10 flats. You gonna know these flats when you see them when I got them on. She about it. But anywho, thank you guys for tuning in. I know this is going to be a premiere, but I just want to end the show by saying make sure y'all out here taking care of business. Don't be out here down at these lecture halls studying, university studies. Listen, in this economy today, we got inflation at 9%. And I've talked to some economists. They saying inflation probably about 18 to 20%, double what they putting out in the CPI report. So please make sure you taking care of business. I know it may be hard. I know it may be hard in terms of picking something like a STEM field, and you may have to make sacrifices, but you want to be somebody like her that's getting to the bag, that's on the right track, that's going to be able to double her income because she chose a field that pays really well, and then she can work on her skills, and as her skills get better, she can go out to the marketplace and get compensated for them, right? And she already on the right track. 21 years old, making $93,000 a year. I don't want to hear no excuses from none of you folks. I'm 22. She making more than me. I got some work to do. I'm gonna have to get off. I'm gonna have to get off this broadcast and go figure out how can I go get to that 100,000. I gotta be like her. I gotta get to the bag. But with that being said, I'm Trey.
I'm Shawn.
And this is Bag Talk 101. Thank you guys for tuning in.